I found the weirdest way to get rich in Stardew Valley, and some of these are so stupid I can't believe they actually work. Hops are one of the most profitable crops in the game when you turn them into pale ale. There's just one problem: hops are annoying. They grow every single day, which sounds great until you realize that means you have to harvest them every single day, and then you have to put them into kegs every single day. That is not farming, that is a prison sentence with vines. So here's the lazy version. Use Junimo huts. Set up a huge hops field around the Junimo hut, place your sprinklers, plant the hops on the first day of summer, and then walk away. Do not harvest them, do not touch them, do not even look at them. Let the Junimos do all of the work while you live your life like a retired villain. At the end of the season, collect the mountain of hops they harvested for you, then process them through kegs during fall. It is technically a delayed profit, yes, but it removes the worst part of hops, babysitting them. This method is perfect if you want the profit of pale ale without turning your summer into a daily chore simulator. And speaking of making other creatures do your work for you, let's talk about the slime hutch, because yes, I know I've insulted it before, but this time we're going to make it useful, maybe. The slime hutch is weird, it is massive, it is ugly, it looks like someone dropped a purple factory on your farm and then refused to explain themselves. Most players build it once, regret it immediately, and then pretend it isn't there. But if you set it up properly, it can make money. The goal is not the slimes themselves, the goal is the slime balls. Fill the hutch with slimes, keep the water troughs filled with a sprinkler, and block off the slimes so that they take up as little space as possible. Come back later, collect the slime balls, turn the slimes into eggs, and sell the eggs. Will this beat ancient fruit wine? No. Will it replace pigs? Definitely not. But it is strangely satisfying to turn a building everyone hates into a weird little egg factory. Yes, and that's the whole vibe of this video. We're not always chasing the best methods. We're chasing the methods that make you say, wait, that works? And the next one is basically fishing for lazy people. Fishing makes great money early on, but fishing also requires you to actually fish. Disgusting. So instead, use crab pots. For this to work correctly, you want the trapper profession and then the mariner profession. Trapper makes crab pots easier to craft, and the mariner stops them from producing trash. This part is important because nobody is getting rich from soggy newspaper unless the valley has a recycling-based economy I didn't know about. Now place a bunch of crab pots somewhere convenient. Each day, collect the fish, refill the pots with bait, and then instead of selling the catches directly, turn them into sashimi. This can create a nice little daily income stream with very little effort. It will not make you a millionaire overnight, but over a full season it adds up. And the best part is how boringly reliable it is. No luck, no danger, no skull cavern trauma, just crab pots quietly feeding your bank account. And now that we've covered lazy fishing, let's move on to lazy animals, because there is a way to make animals profitable while barely acknowledging their existence, which is honestly very relatable. Normally, animals require daily care. You feed them, you pet them, you collect their products, you process everything, you pretend you are a responsible farmer. But what if you simply stopped? With an auto grabber and an auto petter, animals become almost fully automated. The auto grabber collects their products. The auto petter keeps them emotionally stable enough to keep producing. All you really need is food in the silo. Then you can ignore them for an absurd amount of time. Come back later, open the auto grabber, and it will be packed with milk, eggs, wool, and whatever else you neglected little capitalism machines have been producing. You can process everything correctly if you want maximum profit, or if you are feeling truly lazy, you can dump it into the shipping bin and walk away. Is this the most optimal animal strategy? No, but the money to effort ratio is beautiful. This method is not about being the best farmer. It's about building a farm so automated that even the animals start wondering if you still live there. But if ignoring animals feels too normal, don't worry. The next method is much more questionable, because instead of keeping animals forever, we're flipping them for profit. The normal way to make money from animals is simple. Buy the animal, raise it, collect it, turn that product into artisan goods and profit slowly over time. But there is another way. You can raise animals, increase their friendship, and then sell them for even more money. Basically, you are running a livestock friendship investment scheme. This can work with cows and goats, especially if you know how to increase friendship quickly. But the really interesting version is the ostrich. Ostriches can be hatched, raised, and eventually sold for a very strong profit at very high friendship. And while you are raising them, they can still produce ostrich eggs, which you can turn into mayonnaise. So they make money while becoming more valuable. That's not an animal, that's a business plan with feathers. Now, is this something every player should do? Probably not. Some players get attached to their animals, some players name them, some players would rather delete their save file than sell Bongus the cow. And I respect that, but if you are cold enough, animal flipping can make surprising money. And if you want an even weirder animal adjacent money method, we need to talk about fish ponds. Fish ponds are easy to underestimate. mate. They look decorative, they take up space, they ask for weird items like they're running tiny aquatic side quests. But lava eel ponds can actually make a decent amount of money. A fish pond takes up exactly 5 by 5 tiles, which is important because space is money. A 5 by 5 patch of starfruit can make you good gold. So for a fish pond to be worth it, it needs to compete with the crops. Fortunately, lava eels actually can. They produce roe frequently, and once you age that roe, it sells for a very decent chunk of change. The benefit is that it pays out often. With starfruit, you have to wait for the crop to grow, then wait again if you're turning it into wine. With lava eels, roe can come in much more frequently. It is not the absolute best money-making method in the game, but it is weirdly solid, and it has one major advantage: it's different. If you are tired of ancient food, tired of wine, tired of pigs, and tired of pretending your farm is not just a giant spreadsheet with crops on it, lava eel ponds are a fun alternative. Plus, there is something deeply powerful about walking past a pond full of lava fish and knowing that they are paying the rent. Did you know that you can take some money and magically turn it into considerably more money? It's simple. Ensure that you have tons of kegs and the artisan profession. Then on a Friday, head over to Sandy's Oasis. Buy as much honey as you can afford. The more the better. Then head home and turn all of that honey into mead. The honey from Sandy only costs 200 gold each. But when you turn it into mead, you'll make 420 gold. Effectively doubling your money instantly. The best part, it only takes half a day to turn honey into mead. That is truly broken. This next method is chaos, and I love it. The idea is simple. Make the mines as crowded as possible, kill everything and sell the loot. To do this correctly, wear burglar ring and use monster musk. The burglar ring will give you more monster drops. Monster musk will cause more monsters to appear. Together, they turn the mines into a loot piñata. You can do this on infested floors or just keep repeating good monster heavy floors. Slimes are especially interesting because slime eggs can sell for a decent amount. But the really fun part is that everything becomes money. This method is not elegant, it is not peaceful, it is not a beautiful farm layout with fairy rose honey and perfectly aligned sprinklers. It is you running through the mines like a goblin with a sword and a shopping cart. But it works, and honestly, sometimes it's more fun to get rich by fighting the cave than by watering blueberries. Still, this method is only the beginning of the nonsense you're about to see. Void chickens look cool. They are edgy, they are mysterious. They produce void eggs, which can be turned into void mayonnaise. And you would think that void mayonnaise would be amazing, right? It sounds like something that you would sell to the wizard for a bidden amount of money, but it's not as good as you think. Large regular eggs can turn into gold quality mayonnaise, and that can actually be much more profitable than void mayonnaise. So somehow the normal chicken is standing there making better mayo than the dark magical chicken from the underworld. But then we have the ostrich egg. Ostrich eggs are ridiculous because one ostrich egg can create 10 servings of mayonnaise. One egg goes in and a whole restaurant supply comes out. And if the ostrich egg has quality, the mayonnaise keeps that quality, which can lead to some very insane profit margins. Suddenly the ostrich is not just a giant bird, it is a mayonnaise cannon. Then there are golden chickens. Golden chickens sound like they should be game breaking, and they are definitely valuable, but considering how late they arrive and how much effort it takes to get them, they are more of a flex than a real money making plan. So the lesson is simple: do not judge mayonnaise by how evil the egg looks. In Stardew Valley, regular chickens can outperform void chickens, and ostriches are mayonnaise factories, while golden chickens are mostly there to make you feel powerful. Now let's move from animal abuse to crop abuse. Giant crops are usually treated like decoration. You grow one, take a screenshot, ask on Reddit what this is, feel proud, and then leave it there like a trophy. But giant crops can actually make money. Cauliflower, melons, and pumpkins can become giant crops when grown in a 3x3 grid. But here's the fun part: if your crop field is bigger than that, the chances of giant crops appearing can keep applying across all of the possible 3x3 spaces. So instead of growing a tiny little crop square and hoping for the best, you can build a massive field designated to encouraging giant crops. Use smart sprinkler layouts, pressure nozzles, or deluxe retaining soil to keep as many crop tiles active as possible. When you chop down a giant crop, it gives more crops than your original 3x3 section. So if you can consistently create the giant crops, you are literally farming bonus vegetables. Is this the cleanest method? No, it is slightly awkward, but there is something beautiful about making money because your pumpkins became too powerful for their own good. And honestly, if my crops are not mutating into profit monuments, what are we even doing here? Fruit trees are usually not the most exciting money-making method. They take forever to grow, they cost a lot, and for most of the game, they feel like something you plant because you want your farm to look nice, not because you want to become rich. But the greenhouse changes things, because once your fruit tree is fully grown inside of the greenhouse, they will produce fruit every single day, all year round. And if you fill the greenhouse edges with banana trees, you create a tiny little passive banana empire. Each banana is not going to change your life on its own, but with enough banana trees producing every single day, the money adds up over time. It is not dramatic, it is not explosive, it is not 500,000 gold in 3 days, but it is just free money every day, forever. Rare seeds are weird. They are expensive, slow, and annoying to collect, so a lot of players completely ignore them. But if you handle them properly, they can become a surprisingly nice side hustle. The traveling cart sells rare seeds every Friday and Sunday during spring and summer for 1,000 gold. That means if you make this a part of your routine, you can slowly collect tons of them before fall. Then when fall finally arrives, plant them and grow sweet gem berries. Now this is not the same as planting a normal crop. Rare seeds are way too slow and too awkward to be a real money-making strategy, but as a low-effort routine, it's amazing. You buy the seed when they appear, you save them, you plant them in fall or use the greenhouse if you want more control. Then you sell the sweet gem berries for a very clean profit. The main mistake is trying to treat a rare seed like a normal crop. Don't. Treat them like a strange little investment that pays off later. This method is strange because it turns museum junk into money. With the treasure appraisal guide, artifacts sell for way more. On its own, that sounds mildly interesting, but it gets much better when you realize you can farm treasure troves. You see, treasure troves guarantee artifacts when opened. So the plan becomes get treasure troves, crack them open, sell the artifacts for boosted value. To farm them, you can collect omni geodes and trade those in for treasure troves at the desert trader. And if you want to get weird with it, you can farm enemies that drop omni geodes, especially with tools like the burglar ring and the monster mask, to dramatically increase your loot. Then just take those treasure troves over to Clint, open them up and sell the artifacts. Do not underestimate the treasure appraisal guide. We have the easiest ways to farm for omni geodes in this latest 1.6 update, and you absolutely need to abuse it if you want to succeed. And those are the weirdest ways to get rich in Stardew Valley. Some are genius, some are absolutely terrible, let's be honest. However, this video here has the guaranteed best ways to get rich in Stardew Valley. This video here is not a funny one, it's not a joke, you should go watch it, you will be rich. Thanks for watching, but for now, I will see you in the next video.